Shalom, hermoso y bendecido sábado. El sábado es el sábado para descansar y alabar a Jesucristo, a Dios, porque el sábado es el sábado hermoso para gozarse y dedicárselo a Jesucristo, Jehová, Yahshua. Hope everybody's having a beautiful, peaceful Saturday afternoon with your loved ones. Aquí estoy mandándoles mi mensajito en este sábado hermoso, porque los sábados son para Jesús, Yahshua. And este es el día para alabar a Jesucristo, porque este es el día de gozo, el último día de la semana, y mañana es el primer día de la semana, y aquí mandándoles un mensajito con algo diferente que ojalá y lo puedan dejar y no me lo quiten. I hope this video can stay, and it's very important, y si se queda pues bien, y si no, ahí está en YouTube, lo bajan. Lo voy a publicar allí. Este es aquí from home, y se trata, es en YouTube, y le tengo los captions in Spanish, and it's like this. It's a little longer, so, pero ya saben que I like to post a little bit of everything. I'm the random in Spanglish. And Shalom Adonai. Dios me los bendiga en este sábado, porque los sábados son para el gozo y descansar. Y aquí está el video de hoy. Allá en mi TV. Aquí está. And here we go. And I hope que lo puedan mirar completo. Hope you guys can enjoy this. It's important. Es importante. So anyways, ahí está my purchase. Beautiful. Purchase, family and friends. Ahí están mis bellos.
Topic that has sparked intrigue, controversy and fear for centuries. Satanism is often misunderstood and misrepresented, with perceptions ranging from dark occult practices to a philosophical rebellion against established norms. Today, our goal is to inform and clarify misconceptions, providing an in-depth look at the historical roots, key figures, and modern movements within Satanism. We'll explore its evolution from ancient depictions to contemporary practices, shedding light on both the sensationalized myths
My precious,
and the
beautiful
reality
family
of
and
what Satanism truly
friends.
entails.
Shalom.
Whether you're curious, skeptical, or simply seeking to understand, this video
Amor y
aims to
paz,
provide
my
a balanced and
beautifuls.
thorough examination of Satanism. The concept of Satan has evolved significantly over time, with its earliest roots found in various ancient religious texts. In the Hebrew Bible, Satan is not initially depicted as the embodiment of evil, but rather as an adversary or accuser. The
I will
term
post
Satan
this in
itself comes from the Hebrew word shaitan, meaning
YouTube,
adversary
my
or
channel.
accuser. In the book of Job,
I would like
Satan
to
appears as a member of the heavenly
see
court,
complete
whose role is to challenge the righteousness
videos
of
and
humans. This portrayal is markedly
posts.
different from the later, more
Los
malevolent
encuentro ahora en mi
interpretations.
canal
In
de YouTube.
Zoroastrianism, one of the world's oldest continuously practiced religions, the concept of anger
And
Mayu, or
si lo
exists
disfrutan,
as a destructive spirit, embodying chaos
háganlo
and evil
6
in
porque
opposition to the good deity, Ahura
tal vez
Mazda.
esto ya no lo vayan a dejar en el futuro, so es preferible guardar información and to ask God for guidance. It's the most important my Lord Jesus Christ.
Evil character. Early Christian texts, such as the New Testament, depict Satan as a tempter and deceiver, an adversary to both God and humanity. For example, in the Gospels, Satan tempts Jesus in the wilderness, and in the book of Revelation, he is portrayed as the great dragon and the deceiver of the world.
Yeah.
The transformation of Satan into the ultimate antagonist of God was further influenced by the intertestamental period Jewish literature, such as the book of Enoch, which elaborates on the story of fallen angels and their leader, often identified with Satan. These narratives contributed to the burgeoning image of Satan as a rebel against divine order.
In the name of Jesus,
Islam
my Lord, I
also
will
features
be
a
posting
Satan-like figure known as Iblis or Shaitan. In
clips
Islamic
like this
theology,
in
Iblis
YouTube.
is a jinn who refuses to bow to
Well,
Adam and
they
is cast
left.
out of heaven. His role
Because
is
we all
similar
know
to that
that
of Satan in Christianity, acting as a tempter and adversary to humanity.
soon this
During the
will
Middle Ages,
be
the fear of Satan and his supposed
banning
earthly
gone.
agents, witches and
But while
heretics,
we
grew
see,
immensely. The medieval period was rife with
let's
accusations of witchcraft and devil worship, often fueled by socio-political and religious tensions. The church played a significant role in propagating the belief in a
interesting,
vast,
important,
organized
and
network of Satan worshippers
the word of
intent on
God and
undermining
prophecy.
Christian society. One of the most infamous episodes of this period
Sorry,
was
my
the witch hunt,
precious. I
which
have
began
to.
in the late medieval period and continued into the early modern era. The Malleus Maleficarum, published in 1487 by Heinrich Kramer and Jakob Sprenger, was a seminal text that codified the beliefs about witches and their supposed pacts with Satan. This book became a manual for inquisitors and significantly contributed to the hysteria surrounding witchcraft. Accusations of heresy were also common, with groups such as the Cathars and the Knights Templar often being branded as devil worshippers by the church. These accusations were frequently politically
This
motivated,
video clip
used
is
to justify
34
persecution
minutes
and the
long.
consolidation of power by the church and secular authorities.
How I
The
can
Enlightenment and Romantic periods
record
marked
everything
significant
and
shifts
just
in the portrayal of Satan.
keep it
Enlightenment thinkers, with their
information, it's
emphasis
just
on
more
reason and
important
skepticism, began to question traditional religious
to
doctrines,
let people know
including the
about
existence
truth.
and nature of Satan. However, it was during the Romantic era that Satan underwent a dramatic transformation in literature and art. The Romantic movement, characterized by its emphasis on emotion, individualism, and the sublime, found a compelling figure in Satan. He was reimagined not just as a symbol of evil, but as a tragic and heroic rebel against tyranny. This shift was influenced by the growing interest in personal freedom and resistance to oppressive structures. One of the most influential works of this period is John Milton's epic poem Paradise Lost, published in 1667. Milton's Satan is a complex character, portrayed with a sense of grandeur and tragic dignity. His famous declaration, "Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven," epitomizes the romantic ideal of the defiant, autonomous individual. Paradise Lost significantly shaped the modern perception of Satan, presenting him as a multifaceted figure
I like to
who
record it
challenges
like
divine
this and
authority
then
and represents the
put it
struggle for
directly
personal
on my
liberty.
phone.
Another crucial work is Johann Wolfgang von Goethe's Faust,
gusta a veces,
published in two parts in 1808 and 1832.
grabarlo
In Faust,
de mi
the character of
celular,
Mephistopheles serves as a cunning, sardonic tempter who
tenerlo
offers
ahí.
Faust unlimited knowledge and worldly pleasures in exchange for his soul. Goethe's portrayal of
Ponerlo directo de
Mephistopheles
mi,
blends elements of
grabarlo
the
y
traditional
poner,
devil with a more nuanced, almost
publicarlo de
sympathetic
mi,
character,
de mi
reflecting the
celular.
romantic fascination with the duality of good and evil. The romantic poets, such as Lord Byron and Percy Bysshe Shelley, also contributed to the evolving image of Satan. Byron's Cain, 1821, portrays Satan as a liberator who encourages Cain to defy God's arbitrary authority.
This story is not a
Shelley's
fantasy, it's a
Prometheus
true.
Unbound, 1820, while not directly about
The
Satan,
enemy doesn't
embodies
let
the
no-
spirit of rebellion
well,
against
no,
oppressive
the-
forces, a theme that resonates with the romantic interpretation of Satan. In art, the Romantic era produced numerous depictions of
Saluditos otra vez, my
Satan that
beautiful
emphasized his
precious.
tragic and heroic qualities. Artists like
God
William
bless you
Blake
all in
created
this
powerful and evocative images that captured
beautiful
the
Saturday.
complex
Drive
nature of the
safe.
romantic
God bless
Satan.
everybody
Blake's
on the
illustrations for
road.
Paradise
Truck
Lost
drivers.
and his own works, such as The Marriage of
Everybody.
Heaven and Hell, reveal a
While
deep
driving.
engagement with the themes of
And
rebellion
drove,
and the human
sorry.
condition. Anton
Any
Sandor LaVey,
transportation.
born Howard Stanton LaVey on April 11, 1930, was an American author, occultist, and musician who founded the Church of Satan in 1966. LaVey's early life was marked by a fascination with the dark side of human nature and the supernatural, leading him to work as a carnival organist and a paranormal investigator. His unique experiences and observations of human behavior, combined with his disdain for traditional religious hypocrisy, culminated in the establishment of a new religious movement centered on Satan as a symbol of individualism and self-indulgence. On April 30th, 1966, LaVey declared the founding of the Church of Satan and proclaimed 1966 as Year 1, Anno Satanas, the first year of the Age of Satan. This date was deliberately chosen to coincide with Walpurgisnacht, a traditional night of witchcraft and pagan celebration, underscoring the Church's defiant stance against conventional religious norms. LaVey's philosophy,
my phone
often referred to
with
as
something that
LaVeyan
is
Satanism,
very
is a
important.
complex blend of atheism,
Information.
secular humanism, and a particular brand of hedonism. Unlike traditional religions that venerate
I don't
deities,
sell
LaVeyan
books,
Satanism rejects the notion
and
of
I
a
don't
literal
sell the
Satan and
word
instead
of God.
uses Satan as a powerful symbol of human nature,
No.
pride, and defiance against arbitrary authority.
God
LaVey
owns
posited that
everything.
humans are inherently carnal
He's
and
the owner,
selfish
my
beings,
Lord.
and that embracing these traits rather than denying them leads to a more fulfilling life. In 1969, LaVey published The Satanic Bible, a cornerstone text that outlines the doctrines and rituals of the Church of Satan. The book is divided
In the
into
name
4
of my
sections:
Lord,
the Book of Satan, the Book of Lucifer, the Book of Belial, and the Book of Leviathan. Each section addresses different aspects of LaVeyan philosophy, including the rejection of spiritual doctrines, the celebration of individualism, and the practice of ritual magic. LaVeyan Satanism is founded on several
People
key
don't know
principles:
about these, my
self-interest
Lord,
and
but
self-actualization.
that's why I'm here.
LaVeyan Satanists believe in the pursuit of personal success and
Estoy
happiness
aquí
as the
para
ultimate goal. This
presentarles,
includes
tal vez
embracing one's
hay personas
desires
que
and
no sepan
ambitions
esta
without guilt
información.
or shame. Individualism,
Muy importante.
emphasizing the importance of the individual over the collective. LaVeyan Satanism encourages
Como
followers
trabaja el
to assert
enemigo,
their own identity and beliefs, even if they conflict with societal norms. Rational self-interest. While advocating for self-interest, LaVeyan Satanism also promotes the concept of responsibility to the responsible, urging followers to act in ways that do not harm others unnecessarily. Skepticism and critical thinking. LaVeyan Satanists are encouraged to question authority, challenge dogma, and rely on empirical evidence and reason. Rituals in LaVeyan Satanism are symbolic acts designed to reinforce the practitioner's desires and psychological well-being. These rituals are often theatrical and incorporate elements such as candles, symbols, and
Pero el
chants. Some of the key
enemigo no
rituals
va a
include the
poder
Satanic Ritual, a ceremonial
nunca,
rite that involves invoking the
porque
forces of
Dios
darkness
es
to
el
achieve a specific goal.
creador.
The Black Mass,
Dios
a
es
symbolic
el
inversion of the
creador.
Catholic Mass intended to mock and
Jesus.
reject Christian doctrines. The Ritual of Destruction, a ritual aimed at symbolically destroying one's enemies through focused intent and visualization. The Temple of Set. Introduction to Michael A. Aquino and the founding of the Temple of Set in 1975. Michael A. Aquino, a former high-ranking member of the Church of Satan, founded the Temple of Set in 1975 following a schism with Anton LaVey. Aquino, an officer in the U.S. Army and a scholar of occultism, became disillusioned with the direction of the Church of Satan under LaVey's leadership. He sought a more spiritually oriented path and claimed to have received a direct communication from the ancient Egyptian deity Set, who revealed a new esoteric philosophy. The Temple of Set was established as a more formal and theologically sophisticated alternative to the Church of Satan, with Set, the ancient Egyptian god of chaos and darkness, as its central figure. Differences between the Church of Satan and the Temple of Set. While both the Church of Satan and the Temple of Set share a common origin in LaVeyan Satanism, they diverge significantly in their beliefs and practices. Theological focus. The Church of Satan is fundamentally atheistic, viewing Satan as a symbol rather than a literal deity.
Están everywhere
In
acá,
contrast, the
pero
Temple
en
of Set is
la,
theistic, with Set regarded as a real ancient entity who offers a path to spiritual enlightenment and self-deification. Philosophical orientation. LaVeyan Satanism emphasizes materialism, skepticism, and individualism, focusing on personal empowerment in the physical world. The Temple of Set, while also valuing individualism, places greater emphasis on metaphysical exploration and the development of one's spiritual potential. Organizational structure. The Church of Satan operates with a more decentralized and less formal structure, whereas the Temple of Set has a hierarchical organization with various degrees of initiation and a structured curriculum for spiritual advancement. The Temple of Set's philosophy, known as Setianism, is centered on the concept of Ziper, an ancient Egyptian word meaning to become or to come into being. Ziper represents the individual's continuous process of self-evolution and self-realization, guided by the principles of Set, self-deification.
La vida no nomás es vida.
State of being, developing their unique potential
La muerte
and
no nomás es
transcending
muerte.
ordinary human limitations. Personal sovereignty, emphasizing the importance of personal autonomy and self-mastery. Setians seek to control their own destiny and reject external influences that undermine their individual sovereignty. Esoteric knowledge, the pursuit of hidden or occult knowledge, is central to Setian practice, with a focus on understanding the deeper mysteries of the universe and the self. Initiatory practices. The Temple of Set employs a rigorous system of initiation, where members progress through various degrees of understanding and capability. This process involves both formal study and practical application of esoteric principles. Rituals and practices in the Temple of Set are designed to facilitate the process of Zepa and include the working of the Order of the Trapezoid, a ritualistic practice that involves complex symbolism and aims to align the practitioner's will with the forces of Set. The word of Set,
Y las
an ongoing
pirámides
personal
siempre
exploration and
están
articulation of the individual's unique path of
en todos los
self-development, often
países.
expressed through written or
Están
spoken
conectadas.
declarations. The rite of
Las
Zepa,
pirámides
a
son un
central
misterio
ritual that
que está en
embodies the principle of
conexión.
becoming, where Setians symbolically enact their own process of self-transformation and
pirámides de
ascent.
triángulo
The
son-
Satanic Temple, TST, was founded in 2013 by Lucian Greaves, a pseudonym, and Malcolm Jarry. Lucian Greaves, the face of the organization, serves as its spokesperson and is known for his articulate and media-savvy approach. The temple was established with the intent to promote a non-theistic form of Satanism that embraces secularism, humanistic values, and social justice. The Satanic Temple's primary goals revolve around promoting empathy, reason, and the separation of church and state. Unlike traditional religious organizations, TST does not worship a deity. Instead, it uses Satan as a symbolic figure representing individualism, critical inquiry, and resistance to authoritarianism. The temple's activism is rooted in these principles and often seeks to challenge religious privilege in public affairs. One of TST's core missions is to uphold the separation of church and state. This objective has led to various legal battles and public demonstrations aimed at ensuring that government institutions
Never mind,
do
I will
not favor
keep
one religion
recording.
over others. The temple argues
Yes.
that by highlighting instances where religious practices
Interesting.
infiltrate public spaces, they can advocate for equal treatment of all belief systems under the law. The Satanic Temple champions religious freedom, advocating for the rights of individuals to practice their beliefs without government interference. This stance often involves legal challenges to laws and policies that TST believes unfairly privilege certain religious perspectives over others. One of TST's most high-profile campaigns involved the installation of a statue of Baphomet, a goat-headed figure associated with Satanism.
Fíjate nomás que
at state
personas tan
capitals.
enfermas.
This campaign began as a response to the installation of
Fíjate
Ten
nomás.
Commandments monuments on public
Oh,
grounds.
wow.
By proposing the Baphomet statue, TST aimed to highlight the necessity of religious plurality and challenge the preferential treatment of Christianity in government spaces.
Señor,
The
reprenda al
campaign garnered
enemigo.
significant media attention and sparked debates about religious freedom and the separation of church
Oh,
and
Jesus
state.
Christ.
In an effort to counter evangelical Christian after-school programs in public schools, TST launched the After School Satan Club initiative. These clubs provide an alternative that emphasizes critical thinking, scientific inquiry, and secular values. The initiative aims to ensure that if religious groups are allowed to operate in public schools, secular and non-theistic perspectives must also be represented. The
Oh my Lord, I
Satanic
hope they
Temple
don't
has been a vocal advocate for
mute or
reproductive
delete
rights,
this
framing access to abortion and contraception as a
video.
matter of religious freedom. TST has challenged restrictive abortion laws, arguing that such laws infringe on their religious beliefs, which prioritize bodily autonomy and individual choice. By positioning reproductive rights within the context of religious liberty, TST has sought to protect access to these services through legal avenues. Another notable campaign is Menstruating with Satan, which aimed to address menstrual inequality by collecting sanitary products for those in need. This initiative reflects TST's broader commitment to social justice and equality, challenging stigmas and supporting marginalized communities. Satanism has long been a provocative and controversial theme in popular culture. Its representation in movies, music, and media has contributed to both fascination and fear, often reinforcing and sometimes challenging public perceptions. Satanism has been a recurring theme in horror films, with classic movies like Rosemary's Baby, 1968, and The Exorcist, 1973, portraying satanic cults and demonic possession. These films often depict Satanism as a malevolent force, contributing to the stereotype of Satanists as dangerous and evil. More recent films like The Witch, 2015, and Hereditary, 2018, continue this trend, using satanic imagery to evoke fear and suspense. However, not all portrayals are negative. Films like The Devil's Advocate, 1997, and Lucifer, 2016 to present, present more nuanced characters who embody satanic principles of rebellion and self-empowerment, challenging the traditional dichotomy of good versus evil. The influence of Satanism in music, is most prominently seen in the heavy metal and rock genres. Bands like Black Sabbath, Slayer, and Marilyn Manson have incorporated satanic imagery and themes into their music and performances. These elements often serve as a form of rebellion against societal norms and religious institutions.
lyrics
Black
and the
metal,
messages.
in particular, has a significant association with Satanism. Bands like Mayhem, Burzum, and Gorgoroth have been linked to theistic Satanism and have used their music to promote anti-Christian and satanic messages. The genre's controversial history, including church burnings and violent incidents, has further cemented its association with Satanism in the public eye. Satanism's portrayal in media often reflects societal anxieties and fascination with the occult. Sensationalist news stories during the satanic panic of the 1980s and 1990s contributed to widespread fear and misconceptions about satanic practices. During this period, claims of widespread satanic ritual abuse, though largely discredited, were frequently reported in the media, fueling public hysteria. In more recent times, media coverage of the Satanic Temple and its activism has presented a different narrative. Outlets have highlighted TST's efforts to promote religious freedom and challenge religious privilege, offering a more balanced view of contemporary Satanism. The representation of Satanism in popular culture has had a profound impact on public perceptions. The frequent depiction of Satanists as malevolent and dangerous in movies and media has contributed to lasting stereotypes and misunderstandings. These portrayals often overshadow the more nuanced and philosophical aspects of modern satanic movements. On the other hand, the visibility of organizations like the Satanic Temple in popular culture has begun to shift perceptions. Through their activism and media presence, TST has worked to demystify Satanism and present it as a legitimate and principled stance on social and political issues. Overall, popular culture plays a dual role in shaping the narrative around Satan, perpetuating fear and intrigue through sensationalist portrayals and offering platforms for positive representations. Understanding this dynamic is crucial for a comprehensive view of contemporary satanic movements and their place in society. The satanic panic of the 1980s
my
and
precious
1990s
friend,
was a widespread moral panic
my husband and my son.
characterized by a
They're
heightened
watching
fear of
the
satanic
game.
ritual abuse, SRA, and the
Basketball
belief
in
that
the
a vast hidden
Olympics.
network of Satanists was
Hablando de
engaging in heinous
Olympics,
criminal activities. This
has
era was marked by
videos,
sensationalist media
something
coverage,
about
dubious testimonies,
was
and a
something
series of
dark
high-profile
message.
legal cases that captured the public's imagination and fueled widespread paranoia. The panic began in the early 1980s, influenced by a confluence of factors, including the publication of sensational books like Michelle Remembers, 1980, a memoir by Michelle Smith and her psychiatrist Lawrence Pasdar, which recounted supposed memories of satanic ritual abuse. The book's claims, although widely discredited, sparked a wave of similar allegations and fueled fears of satanic cults infiltrating communities. Contributing to the hysteria was the burgeoning interest in occult and satanic themes in popular culture, such as the rise of heavy metal music with its often dark and provocative imagery, and the popularity of horror films depicting satanic rituals and demonic possession. Additionally, conservative religious groups and some mental health professionals promoted the idea that satanic cults were a genuine threat, often relying on questionable evidence and techniques like recovered memory therapy. The Satanic Panic era saw numerous false allegations and high-profile cases, many of which led to wrongful convictions and severe social repercussions. Some of the most notable cases include the McMartin preschool trial, which began in 1983, became one of the longest and most expensive criminal trials in American history. It involved accusations of child molestation and satanic rituals at a preschool in Manhattan Beach, California. The case was based on highly suggestive and coercive interviews with young children, leading to lurid and implausible claims of underground tunnels and ritualistic abuse. After 7 years of legal battles and no convictions, the case highlighted the dangers of relying on unsubstantiated allegations and faulty interviewing techniques. In Kern County, California, several people were falsely accused of participating in a satanic cult that allegedly abused children. These cases relied heavily on coerced testimony from children and resulted in numerous wrongful convictions. Many of those convicted were later exonerated, but only after spending years in prison. In 1993, 3 teenagers in West Memphis, Arkansas, were convicted of the murder of 3 young boys. The prosecution argued that the murders were part of a satanic ritual, largely based on the teenagers' interest in heavy metal music and occult themes. The case was marked by a lack of physical evidence and reliance on dubious testimonies. After years of legal battles and growing doubts about their guilt, the West Memphis Three were released in 2011 under an Alford plea, acknowledging that they were wrongfully convicted. The long-term effects of the satanic panic were profound, both for society at large and for the individuals falsely accused. Social trust and skepticism. The panic led to a widespread erosion of trust in institutions, including daycare centers, schools, and social services, as communities became suspicious of potential hidden dangers. This climate of fear and suspicion had lasting impacts on community cohesion and trust in public institutions. Legal and psychological consequences. Many individuals who were falsely accused suffered irreparable harm, including long-term psychological trauma, social ostracism, and wrongful imprisonment. Families were torn apart, reputations were destroyed, and the legal system faced significant scrutiny for its role in perpetuating the hysteria. Reforms and awareness. In the aftermath, there was increased awareness of the need for more rigorous standards in the investigation and prosecution of child abuse cases. Legal reforms were implemented to protect against the use of unreliable testimony and suggestive interviewing techniques. Additionally, the psychological community began to critically evaluate and improve practices related to recovered memories and suggestibility in children, clarifying the difference between Satanism, devil worship, and other occult practices. Understanding the distinctions between Satanism, devil worship, and other occult practices is essential for dispelling common misconceptions. Satanism, modern Satanism, particularly as practiced by organizations like the Church of Satan and the Satanic Temple, is largely symbolic and philosophical. LaVeyan Satanism, for instance, uses Satan as a metaphor for individualism, self-indulgence, and critical thinking. It does not involve the worship of a literal Satan or engagement in criminal activities. Devil worship or theistic Satanism involves the veneration of Satan as a deity. This practice is distinct from symbolic or atheistic Satanism and is relatively rare. It may include rituals and prayers directed towards Satan, but does not inherently involve harmful or criminal behavior. Occult practices. The term occult broadly refers to mystical, esoteric, and magical practices. It encompasses a wide range of beliefs and rituals, including Wicca, paganism, and other forms of witchcraft. These practices often focus on nature, spirituality, and personal empowerment, and are generally not related to Satanism or devil worship. Numerous myths and fears surround Satanism, often fueled by sensationalist media and misunderstandings. Myth: Satanists sacrifice animals and children. Reality: modern satanic organizations, such as the Church of Satan and the Satanic Temple, explicitly condemn animal and human sacrifice. Their rituals are symbolic and theatrical, aimed at personal empowerment and psychological catharsis rather than actual harm. Myth: Satanists engage in criminal activity. Reality: while there have been isolated cases of individuals committing crimes and claiming satanic motives, these are not representative of organized satanic movements. Mainstream satanic organizations promote legal, ethical behavior and often engage in social activism and charitable work. Myth: Satanism promotes evil and immorality. Reality: LaVeyan Satanism, for example, promotes a code of ethics based on rational self-interest, responsibility, and mutual respect. It encourages personal freedom and critical thinking rather than promoting wanton immorality or harm. Myth: Satanists are anti-Christian. Reality: while Satanism often critiques Christian doctrines and institutions, it is not inherently anti-Christian. It promotes freedom of religion and the right to question and challenge dominant religious ideologies. The focus is on individual empowerment rather than opposition to any specific religion. By clarifying these distinctions and addressing common myths, it becomes evident that modern Satanism is a diverse and complex belief system, often misunderstood and misrepresented. Understanding the nuances helps in dispelling fear and promoting a more informed and respectful dialogue about alternative spiritual practices. Satanism, though primarily associated with Western contexts, has found varied expressions across different cultures. These variations reflect the unique socio-cultural environments and historical influences of each region. In Western Europe, Satanism has evolved in parallel with its American counterpart, with notable influences from literary and artistic movements. The 19th century French occultist Eliphas Lévy and the British mystic Aleister Crowley significantly shaped European Satanism. Today, European Satanist groups often emphasize philosophical and individualistic aspects, similar to LaVeyan Satanism. Eastern Europe has seen a rise in interest in Satanism, particularly after the fall of the Soviet Union. The newfound religious freedom allowed for the exploration of alternative spiritualities, including Satanism. In Russia, for instance, the Russian Orthodox Church has frequently condemned Satanist practices, leading to underground movements and clandestine rituals. In Latin America, Satanism often intertwines with local religious and cultural practices. Countries like Brazil and Mexico have seen a blending of satanic symbols with indigenous beliefs and African diasporic religions such as Umbanda and Santeria. These syncretic practices create unique expressions of Satanism that reflect local traditions and spiritual landscapes. In Asia, Satanism is less prominent but still present. Japan, for instance, has a niche interest in Western occultism, including Satanism, often reflected in popular culture through manga, anime, and music. In India, discussions around Satanism are typically framed within the broader context of Western influences and global youth culture. Several international branches of prominent satanic organizations have emerged, reflecting the global reach and adaptability of modern Satanism. Church of Satan, founded by Anton LaVey in the United States, the Church of Satan has established branches in various countries, including the United Kingdom, Germany, and Australia. These branches adhere to LaVey's core principles, but often adapt practices to local cultural contexts. The Satanic Temple, with its focus on social activism and secularism, has also expanded internationally. TST has chapters in countries such as Canada, the United Kingdom, and Norway, engaging in local campaigns that align with its global mission of promoting religious freedom and social justice. Michael W. Ford is a prominent figure in contemporary Satanism, particularly known for his work in Luciferianism. Based in the United Kingdom, Ford's writings and teachings emphasize the pursuit of individual enlightenment and self-deification through the symbolism of Lucifer. His works, such as Luciferian Witchcraft and Adversarial Light, have influenced Satanists worldwide, promoting a blend of traditional occultism and modern satanic philosophy. The Order of Nine Angles is a controversial and secretive satanic group that originated in the United Kingdom in the 1970s. Known for its extreme and often violent rhetoric, ONA promotes a form of Satanism that includes elements of neo-Nazism and anarchism. The group's influence has spread internationally, attracting adherents in Europe and North America. ONA's practices and beliefs have sparked significant debate and criticism within the broader satanic community. In Brazil, the Brotherhood of Satan is a notable satanic group that combines elements of LaVeyan Satanism with local Afro-Brazilian religious practices. The group emphasizes rituals and ceremonies that draw from both Western occult traditions and indigenous spiritualities. This syncretic approach reflects the cultural diversity of Brazil and highlights the adaptability of satanic beliefs to different cultural contexts. At the heart of satanic philosophy is the principle of individualism. Satanism celebrates the individual's right to self-determination, personal freedom, and self-expression. This focus on individualism is often encapsulated in the concept of self-deification, which encourages adherents to see themselves as their own gods. Self-deification is about realizing one's potential, achieving personal goals, and asserting one's autonomy in the face of societal constraints. Symbolism and ritual play crucial roles in satanic practice, serving as tools for psychological empowerment and personal transformation. Key symbols, such as the inverted pentagram, Baphomet, and the sigil of Lucifer, embody the values of rebellion, knowledge, and enlightenment. Often associated with Satanism, the inverted pentagram symbolizes the rejection of traditional religious values and the embrace of individual power. Baphomet, depicted as a goat-headed figure, Baphomet represents the union of opposites, e.g. male and female, human and animal, and serves as a symbol of balance and enlightenment. Sigil of Lucifer. This symbol represents knowledge and the pursuit of enlightenment, reflecting the Luciferian aspect of satanic philosophy. Rituals in Satanism are designed to achieve various psychological and emotional outcomes, such as empowerment, catharsis, and the manifestation of desires. These rituals can be highly individualized and may include elements such as meditation, invocation, and symbolic acts. Some common types of rituals include destruction rituals. These rituals aim to symbolically destroy negative influences or obstacles in the practitioner's life. Compassion rituals, intended to invoke positive outcomes for oneself or others. These rituals focus on healing and support. Sexual rituals, celebrating the carnal aspects of human nature. These rituals emphasize the positive and empowering aspects of sexuality, ethical principles, and moral guidelines. Within Satanic philosophy, Satanic ethics are grounded in the principles of rational self-interest, personal responsibility, and mutual respect. While often misunderstood as promoting selfishness and amorality, Satanic ethics actually encourage adherents to live authentically and responsibly. Key ethical principles include rational self-interest. Satanists are encouraged to pursue their own happiness and fulfillment, but not at the expense of others. This principle advocates for a balanced approach to self-interest that considers the well-being of the community. Personal responsibility, taking responsibility for one's actions and their consequences, is a core tenet of Satanic ethics. Adherents are encouraged to own their decisions and learn from their experiences. Mutual respect. While Satanism celebrates individualism, it also emphasizes the importance of respecting the autonomy and rights of others. This principle underlies the Satanic Temple's focus on social justice and equality. Critical thinking. Satanists are encouraged to question authority, challenge dogma, and think independently. This principle promotes a skeptical and inquisitive mindset, essential for personal growth and empowerment.
In conclusion, Satanism, with its rich history and diverse expressions, invites us to look beyond the myths and misconceptions. It challenges us to think critically, respect individual autonomy, and advocate for justice and equality. Whether you agree with its tenets or not, the exploration of Satanism offers valuable insights into the human quest for meaning and the enduring spirit of rebellion against tyranny and dogma. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and we encourage you to continue exploring with an open mind and a critical eye.
Yeah. And that was
I want to
the
announce
video.
some new tour dates. These tickets.
Excuse me, my purchase, because I was here watching the biggest live. Look at this. This is why Satan hates the Sabbath Bible. It's interesting to study that one. This one next time. And you too. Dios me los bendiga. Y espero hayan disfrutado de este videito. Shalom from home.